Well, hello, everybody. It is Dennis and Andy, and we are back with a TV show review for you guys. You saw the graphic. That's right. The new Mr. and Smith, Mr. and Mrs. Smith TV show on Amazon Prime, starring Donald Glover and what's her name, Dennis?
Why, it's Maya Erskine.
Maya Erskine. Uh, I saw a trailer for this beginning of the year, I think, and I was like, all right, let me watch the trailer because I liked the Brad Pitt, Angelina Jolie movie. It was cool, you know. Um, so I was like, all right, let me check out the trailer. They definitely, it's 2024. It's diversity casting, which I don't have a problem with for a show like this because it's two spies that are supposed to act like they're married and do missions together and so on and so forth. Um, I I told Dennis he should watch it as well. I watched it over the course of I think 3 or 4 days and long and it's funny. I watched like the first five and I told Dennis he should watch it. And him and his wife watched the whole thing in like one day. It was Super Bowl Sunday, actually.
It was.
Um,
It was Super Bowl Sunday, and um, you know, it's a different premise. I also like the Brad Pitt and Angelina Jolie. I never did watch the series with Scott Bakula on it, but everybody's telling me to go see that. And so I thought, I enjoyed the premise of it, of the original movie. So I thought, why not? Andy said it's good. It starts off very cool. You start off with Skarsgård. They start off with another group. So Alexander Skarsgård and his
yeah.
partner are in there, and they're on their farm, and then they get attacked. And you're like, whoa, they're coming after him, and they're tired of running, they say, and they step it up. Well, it becomes very obvious as the first and the second episode happen. It's a completely different premise than the original Mr. and Mrs. Smith with Brad Pitt and Angelina Jolie. In that one, they are married. They are in competing secret spy agents, and they finally find out that, oh, I'm married to my enemy, and I need to take him out. Which
Right.
is one premise. This is a completely different premise. They are both recruited, and they're brought together to form a marriage, a partnership, and to go do missions as a married couple.
Yes, and it takes place in New York. The first episode, you get to see some of the interview process where basically they're just talking to a computer screen. And as they answer the questions that they read off the screen, another question gets thrown at them. They both end up at this nice brownstone that the company sets them up at. And, it's two people that work for the same organization that are supposed to be married and they literally just meet that day when at the brownstone and have to, you know, have to just get to know each other. There's learning quirks and curves to it. There's a cute scene in the first episode where it's like, uh, you take the master bedroom, I'll take the guest room, and little things like that. Um, you know, we're not going to do our typical spoiler and then or non-spoiler and then spoiler because this is 8 episodes. It's a lot to talk about, so we're just going to talk overall about it.
Yeah,
Um,
this one does have this show's got a lot of great cameos. A lot of times they're in it for like an episode. Paul Dano winds up being one of the neighbor, and he's an interesting character. I love Paul Dano. I mean, Ron Perlman. I mean, he's in an episode. John Turturro. He's in an
dude,
episode.
that that episode with Ron Perlman, I thought was great. I thought his character was great in it.
Yes.
I thought the acting for now I've known Donald Glover since Community, that
Yes,
show.
that's where I knew him from. I loved him
Um,
in that.
I haven't watched. I know he did a show on FX. I didn't watch that, and he's done other things, but Community is where I know him. So I know him as a comedic guy, not a drama action type guy. Maya Erskine, never seen her before. So that was nice because I wasn't pulling performances from other things she's done. Oh my God. Excuse me. Dennis, what do you say when somebody sneezes?
Bless you.
Thank you. I can't believe I had to tell you to do that. No manners. Anyhow, I couldn't, I thought she was good too because I haven't seen her in anything before. So it was, seeing this actress with fresh eyes. I thought they had good chemistry. What did you think about that?
So the strength of this show. So I'm going to say this: the strength of the show is the chemistry. This isn't so much a spy series; it is more of a relationship with counseling, and they just happen to be married because they're spies. And it delves into their relationships. And I thought that was the strength of this. I thought they had decent chemistry together. I liked it. You got to see, as they got closer together and then farther apart in later episodes, and then how it eventually would break down like you would think of the Mr. and Mrs. Smith movie. So to me, that was their strong point.
Yeah, and I agree with that. And that's one thing I liked about it is it showed these two people grow their relationship over the course of the 8 episodes. And like Dennis said, grow first together. But then, as the different missions go on and stuff, they have their different ways that they think the mission should be handled. She definitely, Mrs. Smith definitely comes across more of the alpha in the relationship, and that causes some tension because later episodes he's like, it's always doing things your way. What about letting me handle it my way once in a while? And you do see a scene with Sarah Paulson, I think that's her name, that plays a marriage counselor, and they go to marriage counseling, but they can't obviously say what they do, so they just say, oh, they're computer engineers or whatever, programmers, and basically talk about their problems through that lens.
The best part of this, really, in my mind, was the very first episode with Skarsgård, and you're getting that great flash in the final scene, where the final episode where it's all broken apart and they're going after one another. How do they resolve it? And then in the middle, they meet another John and Jane Smith, and
Right.
Parker Posey and Wagner Moura play the couple, and they were spectacular. That was
They were great.
probably my favorite episode. What they had to go through and do. But each episode, they had like one special guest, and something happened. And now here's where Andy and I are going to differ. For me and my wife, this was a really slow burn. I mean, slow. For me, it was like, oh, first episode caught me, dragged me right in. I was like, this will be really cool. I expect you to get better. And then you slow way down, and then it's go. And then every episode is like flatlining, and then beep, oh, something cool happens. Oh, flatline, beep, oh, something cool happens. My wife was flatlined throughout most of the series. She couldn't believe that Andy suggested this. It was so bad in her mind. She thought it was a waste. And I thought it was okay. There were a few good episodes. It was a really slow burn. Each episode had a redeeming moment, but man, cut it in half maybe. That would have been my suggestion.
And see, that's where I disagree. I didn't think it was a slow burn at all. I think they took their time building up the relationship between the two characters and having them progress through different missions and stuff. And not every episode was a mission. I mean, there was one episode of just the counseling, but they would do flashback stuff for what they were beefing about during the counseling session. Yeah, I really never felt that it was slow. Like Dennis, obviously the first episode pulled me in to keep watching it. I watched the first 5 straight through on I think it was a Saturday. And then, I knew I wouldn't get back to it because over here we did watch the Super Bowl and all that Whereas Dennis and Susie were like, we're just going to watch this and not even deal with the big game. So they could burn through it, which was fine because it gave me the motivation. I remember Dennis telling me that Monday morning, and I was like, oh my God, I'm not going to be able to finish it till this weekend. Forget it. I just stayed up late during the week, made sure I finished it before the weekend. Yeah, I don't think it was a slow burn. I thought the pacing was really well, to be honest. And I didn't have an episode where I was like, ugh, that was definitely the downer of an episode. I mean, they weren't all on the same level, but I didn't see it go like start going up and
The
then
Sarah,
drop
the Sarah
and then go
Paulson
back up.
episode, Susie was already done. She goes, I am bored to tears. And the only saving grace was there's a really funny thing that happens at the end of the episode, and you're like, that's pretty funny. But to sit through an hour of it, I'm just like, yeah, I've talked to a few people afterwards, and we will see. Obviously, a couple of the girls that I know that watched it really enjoyed this. A couple of the other guys I know, they didn't enjoy it. I've got a feeling this is one of those shows that it's just going to be a hit or miss. So, yeah, that's all I'm going to say. I will not be watching a season 2 of this if it comes out, and I think it will come out. Yeah, so you won't have to worry about me on a review.
I will be watching a season 2. It did end on a cliffhanger. I haven't seen anything about, actually, you know what? Let me just look real fast. Before we give it our review, do we want to go out of order and give it IMDb or anything?
No. I'd rather give it ours, and then I'll look it up and pull it out. For me, I thought it was okay. Like I said, there were some good episodes here and there. I enjoyed the special guests. I just think, man, it was just way too slow, and I didn't expect this to be an action show or anything like that. So I'm giving it a 5, and it's okay. Not my cup of tea. My wife's giving it like a 1. She absolutely hated it. She hated everything about it.
Hey, this is the DNA show review, not the DNA and S. Nobody gives a crap about what your wife thinks, Dennis.
That is not true. And leave your remarks down there if you give a crap what my wife thinks.
100% true. I've polled the audience before behind your back, and they're like, we don't care. He talks about her too much. So as of February 2024, Prime Video has not officially confirmed production for season 2. Despite the lack of confirmation, though, the show made a significant impact upon its release, becoming a top show on Prime Video in over 130 countries. So I'm going to go out on a limb and say I believe there will be a season 2. I'm not going to shed a tear if there's not. But my grade for this, you gave it a 5, you said? Yeah, I mean, I am higher than that, but I'm not like to the moon. I'm giving it a 7.5. It's no Reacher, that's for sure. I mean, when Reacher's done, I'm just like, I can't believe I have to wait for a year for the next season. If this thing comes out, season 2 comes out a year from now, I'll be there for it. I thought it was good. So I give it a 7.5 out of 10.
All right, let's see. Rotten Tomatoes. Rotten Tomatoes. The critics love it. The critics are giving it a 90%. They think it's fantastic. And the audience is giving it a 67. So I guess if you average Andy and I out, it's kind of right there to what the normal folk think about the show. And IMDb is giving it a 6.9, and they're out of 10. So like a 60%.
Look at that. So you average it out, and that's about it. But I tell you, the average on Kor-Drath the Awakening, the signups are going fantastic. We're getting a lot of people to sign up for it, and we want you to sign up for it as well. If you go sign up for the campaign, link in the description below. You will get, when you back the book, the lovely Adriana trading card colored by the Kelsey Shannon. You'll get front of the line shipping. This picks up where the Reckoning leaves off. You don't want to miss it. There is the full cover for Kor-Drath the Awakening. Of course, we always do a homage cover. Boom, there's the homage cover. And our man Bud Root is back in action, working on a cover featuring Adriana. Kind of like the trading card. He started off with a Lilith cover. Well, now he's doing an Adriana one. So check that out. Guys, please go sign up. You don't want to miss out. And of course, Nice and Tight, the comic book pencil art of Andy Smith. That's me. We are creeping up on $9,000. This campaign will come down before Kor-Drath launches at the beginning of April. So don't wait. Don't hesitate. Go back this one today. 64 pages of some of my favorite fully penciled pages that either the inker or editor saw, or they both saw them, but a lot of fans have not. This is your chance to take a peek behind the curtain. Go check it out, guys. You will not be disappointed. And we will be back next Wednesday at 3 p.m. to delight you guys with our regular weekly live DNA show. We will have a guest. Stay tuned to find out who it is. And everybody have a great
comment down below. I think there might be a lot of you this time. So let us know what you thought of the show. We love hearing from you guys. You don't have to agree with us, agree or disagree. It doesn't matter. That's what this is all about. It's fun. So leave your comments down below. Make sure you guys subscribe to Andy and I, both of our YouTube channels, and follow us on Twitter, now called X.
That's right, guys. Have a great weekend, and we'll catch you guys later. Dennis is throwing a gang sign him up. I am too. Recognize that one?
Yeah.
Nice and Tight, the comic book pencil art of Andy Smith. That's me. This book features 52 pages of some of my favorite full pencils that I did for other companies over the past 2 decades. The raw pencils as they were seen by the inker, and now you can see them for the first time. This book also comes in a digital format so you can practice your inking in your favorite program. Back it today.